Tsunade, you owe me that favor, said the old man that she cared for but was still angry with. I owe you nothing, she replied unhappily. She did not like the fact that she had been called back to the village by her former sensei. She did not like the fact that she was called back in the wake of the death of the fourth Hokage. I gave you the freedom you asked for years ago so that you could wander the land without hunter nin chasing after you. You owe me for that, said the old man forcefully. Then send the hunter nin after me, I'll just kill them all, she replied, though not truly meaning it. She truly hated the sight of blood. Tsunade, you know that isn't true, said the old man, starting to get annoyed. You're the only family he has left. I don't have any family, she nearly shouted. He may only be a cousin and several times removed, but he is your only remaining blood relation, said the old man. With his father and mother both dead now, you are the only chance he has for even close to a normal life. I don't want to stay in this village to raise the brat, she said adamantly. Then don't stay, take him with you, said the old man simply. The places I plan to go will not be good for him, she said angrily that he would even suggest it. Tsunade was getting annoyed now as her argument was collapsing around her. She didn't want the burden of carting around a child, least of all the child of her estranged fourth cousin. Tsunade, I know that your past hurts you, but this boy needs you now, said the old man sadly. Yondaime gave his life that the boy might live. Don't let his sacrifice be in vain. What about Jiraiya? Can't he care for the brat? She asked desperately. You know what Jiraiya is like. Do you really want this boy to be just like him? Why can't another family in the village adopt him? She asked, still more desperate. The village hates the boy, they only see the demon fox Kyuubi. He is not Kyuubi, the old man was starting to tire of this. This boy has such a great potential, but if he remains here it will be stifled by their hatred. I am asking you to care for the boy. Raise him to reach his potential. Then you can return him here and forget him. Hopefully by then the village would have forgotten their hatred, or at the very least forgotten him. Tsunade sighed in defeat. Does the brat have a name? Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, said the old man. You owe me, old man, she nearly yelled at the geezer. The old man smiled. I know Tsunade, I know. Let me see this brat I'm supposed to care for, she said. I suppose I can always have Shizune look after him. The old man smiled again and guided the woman to the small room next to his office that had been used as a nursery for the boy. Tsunade looked at the sleeping baby and her features softened. She gently lifted the boy from the crib, waking him accidentally. He looked like he was about to cry, but then quieted when his eyes locked with hers. Tsunade would never admit it to anyone, but in that instant she fell in love with the small babe in her arms. You're a natural, said the old man. I still say you owe me for this, Sarutobi-sensei, she said softly to the old man as she laid the boy across her chest with his head on her shoulder. Well, a monthly stipend has been set aside for you to care for the boy. Seeing as you accepted, I've arranged for a bit extra to be put in there for your other expenses, said Sarutobi cautiously. We'll be leaving in the morning, she said calmly so as not to wake the now sleeping baby boy. I understand, said the old man, leading her back into his office. He then reached behind his desk and produced 2 bags, one blue and one black. The blue bag contains some basic provisions that should last you a few weeks for the baby. The black bag is for when he gets older. It contains some scrolls that Yondaime set aside for the boy. I don't know what the scrolls are or what they say, but he wrapped a note around each saying when he wants each scroll given to the boy. Birthday presents, I believe, explained Sarutobi. Whatever, she said nonchalantly, but the third knew that she was listening carefully despite that. Please raise him well, Tsunade, said the old man emotionally. I will, she said softly before collecting the bags and leaving the old man behind. She arrived soon enough at the inn her and Shizune were staying in. You agreed? Asked a shocked Shizune. The old man guilted me into it, she replied with a bit of an edge in her voice. Then we're staying in the village? Shizune asked. Hell no, replied Tsunade loudly but not loud enough to wake the sleeping baby. We're leaving and the boy is coming with us. Shizune was in shock, she couldn't believe it, but Tsunade gave her a look that told in no uncertain terms to stop asking and just accept it. Break. He's walking, shouted an excited Shizune as she saw Naruto taking his first steps. Tsunade rushed into the room, knocking Shizune aside roughly to see the boy walk. Upon seeing Tsunade, little Naruto smiled brightly and raised his arms toward her and took a few more unsteady steps towards her. As he was about to fall, Tsunade lifted him into the air and spun him around, smiling brightly. Poor Shizune was unconscious from the hit, so she didn't see Tsunade's usually cold exterior crack as only Naruto could do. Very good, my little Naruto-chan, cooed Tsunade to the baby boy, causing him to giggle with delight. Soon we can start training you to be the greatest shinobi ever, just like your cousin Tsunade. Months later, Tsunade and Shizune were traveling to a new town. Tsunade had Naruto on her back in baby seat. Shizune was left carrying the luggage, which she grumbled about frequently. Carson, came a small voice that shocked both of the women. Shizune was so shocked she tripped over a tree root, causing her to drop the luggage and fall on her face into a large mud puddle. Tsunade quickly took Naruto into her arms to look at him. Carson, said Naruto again with a smile. Tsunade actually shed a tear of joy and hugged the little boy fiercely. She could not have been happier at the little boy's first word. Shizune though wasn't altogether happy though, as she pulled herself out of the mud cursing all the way. Kuso. Kuso, repeated Naruto with a grin. Shizune panicked as Tsunade turned a glare on her for teaching Naruto such a bad word. Kuso, 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 Naruto repeated several times, giggling the whole time. Tsunade turned her attention back to Naruto and quickly tried to change his phrase. Carson, Carson, Carson. Quason. Puzzled Naruto with a confused look. Carson, said Tsunade again but slowly for Naruto to see. Carson, said Naruto happily, causing Tsunade to smile warmly at her little boy. Tsunade put Naruto back in his carrying seat and then on her back once more, continuing on while Shizune scrambled to pick up the luggage. As soon as Shizune rejoined them, Naruto pointed at her and yelled, Kuso. Break. At 3, Tsunade began to teach Naruto basic chakra manipulation, which he struggled with greatly. At the age of 3 it was very difficult, but for Naruto it was exceedingly difficult for reasons that Tsunade could not understand right away. As the next year passed and Tsunade worked more on teaching Naruto chakra manipulation, she found that because of the QB inside of him it was disturbing his chakra flow. Because of this, it meant that Naruto would struggle very hard to learn decent chakra control and manipulation. As a result, the first several years of Naruto's training would revolve solely around him learning to control and manipulate his chakra. At age 5, Shizune began to instruct him in typical lesson. He learned to read and write, do mathematics, and even a little science, all at basic levels though. It wasn't until age 7 that Naruto received his first birthday present from the Yondaime. Naruto-kun, said Tsunade, drawing Naruto's attention back to the table and away from the slot machine in the pub they were eating dinner in. Yes, Carson, said Naruto, turning his attention back to her. You know that today is your birthday, right? She asked. Yes, said Naruto with a grin. I expect you were waiting for a few presents, weren't you? Asked Tsunade with a duplicate grin. Naruto nodded vigorously in anticipation. Shizune gave Naruto a large box wrapped in orange paper with a blue bow on it. Naruto tried to lift the box only to find it was too heavy. What the big idea, Nekken? Asked an angry Naruto. Just open the box and you'll see, said Shizune, ruffling his hair. Naruto ripped off the bow and as much paper as he could. He opened the box excitedly but then paused when he looked at what was inside. What is it? He asked as he scratched the back of his head. It's a weight suit for training, she explained. It's not too heavy but I think it's perfect for you to start with. Thank you, shouted a now very excited Naruto, giving his sister a big hug in thanks. You're welcome, said Shizune, ruffling his hair again. We can start using it tomorrow. Tsunade went next, handing Naruto a much smaller box that he had no trouble lifting or rapidly ripping off the bow and paper. Inside were some boring new clothes. Oh man, not clothes. Why couldn't it be something cool like a kunai or that shuriken set I've been asking for? You needed a new outfit. What you're wearing is getting much too small, said Tsunade as she unfolded the new outfit to show him. It was a pair of black pants and a blue shirt with the red and black swirl on the back that was his clan symbol. Naruto sat down and pouted as any 7-year-old would before Tsunade rolled her eyes and handed him another package. This one was much smaller but heavier. Naruto quickly tore through the thin paper that was separating him from his gift. Inside was the new shuriken set that Naruto had been hinting at all month. You got them. Oh wow, thank you Carson, shouted Naruto with glee before he hugged Tsunade and gave her a small kiss on the cheek. Now those are real shuriken, chided the excited Naruto. Not like the practice ones you've been using, so I want to make it perfectly clear that you are not to use these until Shizune and I are completely satisfied that you can throw a shuriken perfectly. Yes, yes, said Naruto, not really paying much attention as he checked each shuriken blade to ensure they were in good condition. Put those away, you have one more gift, said Tsunade with a smile. Naruto was surprised. He would usually only get 3 gifts, 1 from Shizune and 2 from Tsunade Carson. This is a gift from Yondaime, said Tsunade with great respect in her voice. Who is Yondaime? Asked Naruto. Haven't you paid any attention in my history lessons? Asked Shizune angrily. Of course I have, said Naruto with his generic answer. I just forgot for a minute. Yondaime Hokage was once a great leader of the Leaf Shinobi village, Konoha, said Tsunade with reverence. He died protecting the village. He left behind some gifts for you when you got older. This is one gift you were supposed to get this year from him. Naruto was so excited about getting another gift that he never once considered asking why the Yondaime would leave any gifts for him. The gift was unwrapped and very plain looking, but then Naruto knew exactly what it was as he'd seen his Carson and Nekken reading them occasionally. Usually they wouldn't allow him to read them because they said they were too dangerous for him to use yet. It was a technique scroll. Naruto took the scroll with awe and wonder in his eyes. Naruto was very careful with the scroll as he undid the tie to read it. And read it he did, sadly though he didn't really understand it. Carson, I don't understand, said Naruto as he showed her the scroll. It's a technique for you, said Tsunade with a smile, pushing it back to him without reading it. But I don't understand, said Naruto. Then you will have to study more until you do understand, said Tsunade with a loving smile at her little boy. Can't you just teach me what the scroll does? Complained Naruto. I could but I won't. Yondaime wanted you to learn that technique. Not me, explained Tsunade. It wouldn't be right for me to learn that technique now, would it? I guess not, said Naruto as he read the scroll again, trying to understand. Break. A few months later, Naruto was in the park with his technique scroll trying to understand it. Shizune was left to watch over him while Tsunade was off losing her portion of the monthly stipend in the casinos. Kirameki no Jutsu, read Naruto again. Flash technique, a technique that temporarily distorts an opponent's sight, causing your movements to be seen only as a flash of light. Naruto read the description once more. He understood what the technique was meant to do, but he was struggling with understanding the chakra manipulations necessary for the technique to work. It is a genjutsu, ninjutsu hybrid technique that requires 4 hand seals to use and after mastering could be activated automatically. That was the part that Naruto was really interested in. The problem was that even with the hand seals he struggled with spreading the chakra out enough to be used on another person. Ah, Shizune, complained Naruto, I don't have enough chakra for this stupid technique. He finally understood the problem. Ah, is that the problem? Asked Shizune, knowing full well what the problem was from the start just from seeing attempt the technique. She would never use the technique herself or even attempt to master it, as it was a technique for Naruto only. How can I get more chakra? Asked Naruto impatiently. Well, you could climb trees, suggested Shizune, earning her a confused look. Huh? Asked Naruto, how is climbing trees going to increase my chakra? Watch, said Shizune as she approached the tallest tree in the park and walked right up the side of it. But how does that increase my chakra? Asked Naruto. First, it will help you develop more chakra control, and by using all of your chakra you will cause your chakra reserves to expand, explained Shizune as she walked down again. Okay then, teach me, said Naruto excitedly. Break. When Shizune taught Naruto to climb trees without his hands, she never imagined what Naruto would do as a result. She thought that Naruto would only practice the technique a few times a week until he emptied his chakra pool. She was quite surprised to find out that every moment he wasn't eating, sleep, or studying, he was climbing trees. In 2 months he'd nearly doubled his chakra capacity. This all came as quite a surprise when at the end of 2 months Naruto came to Shizune asking. Nay, Nekken, called Naruto, do you think I have enough chakra now to do that technique? Shizune hadn't really paid much attention to Naruto when he'd run out the door after class shouting that he was going to the park. So she hadn't noticed his growth. It nearly floored her when she checked it. Naruto-chan, you should have more than enough chakra now. How did you get so much? She asked. Every day after class one went to the park to practice climbing trees. I'd run as fast as I can up and down as many times as I could before I ran out of chakra, just like you told me to. So do you really think this is enough? Yes, Naruto-chan, I think you could use that technique now, said Shizune. Do you want to try it on me? Can I really? Asked Naruto excitedly. Shizune nodded slightly nervously. Naruto formed the 4 hand seals quickly and shouted, Kirameki no Jutsu. Shizune could feel the technique affecting her. Then Naruto ran around her, but the only thing that she saw was a bright yellow flash every couple of seconds as her eyes caught up with Naruto's movement. Okay, you can release it now, said the dizzying Shizune. Kai, said Naruto, ending the jutsu. That was really good, Naruto, but you'll have to keep practicing every day, said Shizune with a smile at her little brother. Do you think that Carson would like to see it? Asked Naruto. Shizune smiled and nodded for Naruto. The little boy ran to the pachinko parlor that his Carson had preferred in that town. They'd been there for 4 months and Naruto knew they'd be moving on again soon. But, just like every town they went to, one of the first things Naruto had to learn was the town layout perfectly. He had to memorize every important location, the locations that an ambush may occur, the location to hide, the best place to eat ramen, and most importantly where all the casinos were. Naruto barged inside the pachinko parlor and found his Carson absent-mindedly put coins into a machine. "Carson," he shouted upon seeing her. "Naruto-chan," she replied with a warm smile. "Carson, I did it," said Naruto. "Do you want to see?" Tsunade smiled at her little boy and nodded as she stood up. "Let's go to the park and you can show me there." Okay, said Naruto, already running out the door towards the park. Tsunade followed behind at a much slower rate, smiling all the way at her adopted son. Break. Naruto spent almost the entire next year practicing the Kirameki every day, trying to cause the jutsu effect to expand even further. To his great pleasure and the displeasure of Shizune and Tsunade, they were unable to break the effects of the technique despite several attempts. That is not to say that they couldn't counter the technique, they just couldn't cancel the technique. Naruto's 8th birthday was met happily by the boy. He received a new set of clothes again and the next level of his weight suit from Shizune, and most importantly he got a kunai set and another scroll from the Yondaime. Kirameki Shuriken no Jutsu and Kirameki Kunai no Jutsu are techniques that allow for the same visual distortion to be applied to a throw kunai or shuriken. This technique is much more difficult to learn the initial Kirameki, as you are attaching the genjutsu, ninjutsu, to an object other than yourself. This technique uses 2 precursor seals, the original 4 seals to the Kirameki and 2 finishing seals. Once mastery of the Kirameki has been achieved, then only the 2 precursor seals and 2 finishing seals are necessary for the technique. Naruto read the description excitedly and was about to run out of the pub to start practicing when Tsunade stopped him and made him finish his vegetables. Break. Naruto's 9th birthday was once again wonderful in his opinion. Shizune gave him the next level of weight suit for training. Tsunade gave him another new set of clothes, but by this age he was starting to appreciate the new set of clothes more than when he was younger. She also gave him 2 technique scrolls from her. One scroll had a basic healing jutsu and the other had the most basic kaiten jutsu. The technique scroll from Yondaime was much larger this year than any of the previous years. "Now you'd better not burn down this village while you're learning that technique," warned Tsunade. "Yes, Carson," said Naruto happily. "From now on you can heal your own scrapes too," said Shizune. "Yes, Nekken," said Naruto, not paying much attention as he was engrossed in his new scrolls. The scroll from the Yondaime Naruto saved until he got home, well, home for now, before he opened it to look at. It was much too large to open in the restaurant. Kirameki Taijutsu, first stage, the scroll title revealed. Naruto didn't read much of the description as he just wanted to look at it quickly before he went to bed. The scroll showed a human figure in several different stances and fighting positions. It also showed a few different strikes. At the end of the rather long scroll it showed 4 different kata. Naruto was so excited he had to go back and read the introduction before he went to bed or he'd never get to sleep. Kirameki Taijutsu is a technique that is dependent upon the user's ability to use the Kirameki no Jutsu. This is a fighting style that is designed specifically for use in conjunction with the Kirameki no Jutsu. This scroll will reveal the base stances and movements to the style. The style will only be as effective if the user is able to use Kirameki no Jutsu. It is highly dependent on the user's speed and very little on the user's brute strength. While this scroll can teach the user the base patterns and strikes, it cannot make a person a master of the style. To master the style is up to the user. Naruto finished reading, and that night he fell asleep dreaming about practicing his new taijutsu style. Tsunade and Shizune had taught him a little taijutsu, but it was a style used commonly by medic nin, which was something that Naruto didn't really have much of an interest in. He knew it disappointed his Carson a bit that he wasn't very interested in becoming a medic nin, but ever since he received his first scroll from Yondaime he had dreamed of becoming just like the man, even as far as dreaming of one day becoming Hokage of Konoha village. The next morning Naruto woke up and ran into the small kitchen area to meet his Carson and Shizune. "Morning Naruto-kun," said Shizune, which caught Naruto a bit off guard. She had always called him Naruto-chan before. "Morning Naruto-kun," said Tsunade, also with a smile, catching Naruto even more off guard. Asked Naruto, "Naruto-kun. You're 9 now, it wouldn't be proper for us to continue calling such a fine young man Naruto-chan," joked Shizune. Naruto puffed out his chest in a manly way, feeling very proud to have lost the chan from the end of his name. It was a rite of passage for the boy, and he was proud to accept the change. "So, what do you want to do today?" asked Tsunade. "I want to practice my new taijutsu," said Naruto, Kirameki taijutsu. Naruto was beaming with pride. "Do you want some help?" asked Tsunade. She was interested in what that large scroll had on it, and now that Naruto was talking about a new taijutsu style, she could only assume. "Would you really?" asked Naruto. "Of course," said Tsunade, "but we'll have to leave town and find somewhere private for you to learn it." Naruto nodded vigorously. "Then you and I are going camping for a few days so that you can learn the basics," said Tsunade. "Shizune, enjoy the time off." Shizune seemed stunned. In all the years she'd spent with Tsunade, she'd never had a day off. She wasn't exactly sure what she should do. Break. Naruto and Tsunade ended up about half a day's journey from town, far off from any of the main roads and farms. Once there, Tsunade told Naruto to find a quiet place to start learning the basics while she made camp for them. Naruto found a very quiet and pleasant spot of grass surrounded by trees to unroll the scroll to its full length, which was more than 6 times his current height. And this was only the basic technique scroll. For the next 3 hours Naruto did nothing but practice the basic stances and shifting between them using specific methods from the scroll. It was a very fluid taijutsu style, and Naruto could see from the start that he was going to need to increase his speed tremendously if he wanted the style to be useful. "How is it going?" asked Tsunade from the edge of the clearing. "Not bad," said Naruto tiredly. "I need more speed and stamina." "I see. Have you learned to block yet?" "No, just the stances. Blocks are next on the list," said Naruto, looking at the scroll again. "I see. Are there many?" "Not so many," said Naruto, "but enough. Each stance uses a different set of blocks to increase efficiency for that particular stance. There are about 4 blocks per stance, and so far there are 10 different stances in the first stage." "That's not too bad," said Tsunade. "Do you think you can learn the enough to begin using it by tomorrow?" "I think so," said Naruto. "Well then, tomorrow'll test you," said Tsunade with a little smile that made Naruto very nervous. Tsunade then turned and left Naruto to his own devices. Naruto swallowed nervously as she left. He'd seen that smile too many times, and it always meant trouble for him. Suddenly nothing in the world seemed more important than learning to block and defend himself. Naruto pored through the scroll until it was too dark to read. After that happened, he spent the rest of the night practicing the different moves by the firelight. At the end of the night crawled into bed next to Tsunade and she wrapped a protective arm around him and kissed the back of his head before they both fell asleep. Tsunade was awoken the next morning by the sound of Naruto already hard at work on his stances and blocks. As Naruto discovered that morning the first kata on the scroll was all blocking and defense. It didn't take him long to memorize and start to practice repeatedly. His movements were still very sloppy and not extremely precise, but he was improving at a remarkable rate. Tsunade cooked some miso soup and rice for breakfast. She ate very slowly to give Naruto a bit more time to prepare for her. As soon as she finished eating and cleaned the dishes, she began her attack on Naruto. He was blocking pretty well, but he really needed to improve his speed and stamina as he couldn't last that long against. But she knew that the weight suit was also working against him as it was the newest level and he just began to use it. There was also the fact that Naruto wasn't using the Kirameki no Jutsu while fight, which was honestly working to his disadvantage. For 3 hours Tsunade would attack and then allow him to rest for 15 minutes before attacking again, trying to push him to his limit and then some. At lunch Tsunade decided that Naruto had had enough. So they ate lunch together talking about happier things. "Carson, do you think I can really learn that taijutsu?" asked Naruto anxiously. He wasn't feeling overly confident after the sparring session finished. "I think you can, Naruto-kun, but you'll have to work very hard," said Tsunade. "Those techniques that Yondaime gives you for your birthday were the skills that he developed himself. You are very, very special if he decided that you should learn them." "Really?" asked Naruto. "So Yondaime knew when I was born that I'd be able to use his techniques?" "That's right, Naruto," said Tsunade. "Why did he choose me?" "Well, he knew your parents very well. They died fighting Kyuubi, you know. Yondaime felt he should leave something behind for you because you were so special," explained Tsunade simply. Naruto knew long ago that Tsunade wasn't his real mother, but as far as he was concerned she was without a doubt his mother and always would be. That didn't stop him from being curious about his blood relations. "Thank you, Carson, for helping me." "I love you, Naruto-kun, it is my pleasure to help you," replied Tsunade. Naruto happily ate his lunch consisting of cup ramen and some fruit. After which he returned to the clearing he'd been studying in before to start learning to attack with his new taijutsu style. The attacks were rather straightforward as there were closed hand strikes, open hand strikes and a variety of kicks available in each stance. The scroll he had focused on the most basic of each of those techniques in each stance. Once Naruto felt comfortable with the different attacks, he began in earnest to work through the kata provided. Each kata grew in difficulty as he progressed down the list. Also important to note that within the scroll next to each step of the kata, the scroll gave an example of when to use the illustrated move and at what situation it would be most advantageous. This gave Naruto the opportunity to visualize each attack and block as he moved through each kata. With time and practice and repetition of the kata, the moves, attacks and defenses would become reflex. Naruto now had several things to work toward over the course of the next year. First, he wanted to improve even more with using the Kirameki no Jutsu and hopefully reach a point of no longer needing the hand seals. Second, he wanted to master the kata on the first stage scroll. Third, he wanted to expand his list of jutsu starting with the Kaiten scroll and the healing scroll and then growing from there. His fourth goal was to double his speed and strength. This would be the toughest goal of all of them. After training he rejoined Tsunade late that night and again crawled into the sleeping roll next to her. Tsunade happily wrapped the familiar protective arm around him and kissed the top of his head before they both fell asleep. The next 3 days passed very quickly, with the early hours of the day passing in a haze of sparring in which Naruto always lost. Naruto would then spend his afternoon working through the kata on the scroll and then finally fall asleep exhausted next to his mother. When they returned to town, they were shocked to see that Shizune was in the casino for a change. Worse though was that she was losing even more miserably than Tsunade usually did. As a result, the trio had to flee town that night to avoid the debt collectors. Break. The 10th birthday came much faster than any of the previous birthdays. Naruto, it seemed, was always busy. He was constantly studying with Shizune, and if he wasn't studying, he was training. That year he'd gone through 3 new weight suits, much to the aggravation of Tsunade's wallet. Naruto's birthday this year once again consisted of his usual 3 gifts from his family and 1 from Yondaime. Shizune got him a new weight suit that was 3 levels above where he was now. "I thought you could use the challenge," said Shizune with a slight smirk. "Yes," shouted Naruto excitedly, "I need to get faster. This is great, thank you Shizune-nekin." That wasn't exactly the response she was hoping for, but was happy that he liked it. Tsunade once again provided him with a new set of clothes, which he desperately needed as he'd nearly worn through all the clothes he currently had. This year she'd given him 10 technique scrolls, much to his exuberance. He got 3 new Kaiten scrolls, 2 new healing scrolls, 2 Doton scrolls, 2 Mizu scrolls, and 1 Kinjutsu scroll. Naruto excitedly opened the Kinjutsu scroll, Kage Bunshin. He read aloud, then his eyes widened when he saw what it did. "Yes, infinite sparring partners," said Naruto excitedly. "That was my idea," said Shizune. As much as she hated to admit it, her little brother was getting to be quite skilled with his taijutsu style, and she was having more and more trouble keeping up with him. Naruto, while not overly interested in the healing scrolls, always took time to learn them for the sake of his cousin. She still continued to try and encourage him to become a medic nin, though she wasn't making much ground. Finally Tsunade handed him the scroll from Yondaime. It was the exact same size and shape as the scroll he'd received the previous years, and so was fairly confident that this was the 2nd stage scroll for his taijutsu. "Camping trip, Carson?" asked Naruto as he balanced the larger scroll on his palm. Tsunade smiled. "Okay, but we're not leaving Shizune with much money this time." Shizune pouted but didn't say anything. This time when they returned from their trip, they found Shizune at home with a little pet pig she aptly named Tonton. Tsunade fell in love with the little pig, and thus it became the new family pet despite Naruto's complaints about having to clean up after it. Break. Naruto's 11th birthday came a bit more slowly than his 10th did. Although Naruto was still constantly busy with something. In the year that passed, Naruto went through 3 more weight suits, jumping up 3 levels with each new suit. It was starting to worry both Tsunade and Shizune that he was becoming so strong so fast as he was still so young. But then Naruto also had the chakra of a demon fox running through him, so the increase in strength, speed, and stamina could be explained thus. His jutsu progression wasn't that fast though. In the year that passed he learned only the 10 scrolls he was given. On the other hand, he learned extremely well. Naruto spent most of his training time working on his taijutsu and still trying to master the Kirameki no Jutsu. He still couldn't enable the technique without hand seals, and it was starting to get under his skin. Naruto was not a genius and would never considered one, but his work ethic and never say die attitude more than made up for it. That is not to say that he was stupid either. He learned from books well enough and was decent with strategy and tactics. Tsunade once again presented him with 10 new scrolls and a set of new clothes, and Shizune again gave him a new weight suit, this time 5 levels above where he currently was. She was trying desperately to slow him down at least a little. The Yondaime scroll this year was the 3rd stage scroll for his taijutsu, which once more earned him a camping trip with his Carson. Break. Naruto's 12th birthday was the birthday that Tsunade was dreading most of all. First, it was the year in which she would have to return with him to Konoha. Second, it was the year the Yondaime left instructions for her to tell him about the Kyuubi. Neither of these was creating a very happy thought in her mind. She knew Naruto very well and she didn't want him to be upset by this. As such, she was racking her brain trying to find a way to tell him. "Are we going to dinner tonight, Carson?" asked Naruto. "We are, but I wanted to talk to you about something," said Tsunade. She could instantly sense the worry coming from Naruto. "Am I in trouble?" asked Naruto. "No, silly, come here and sit on my lap," said Tsunade, patting her leg. "Carson, I'm getting a bit old to sit on your lap," said Naruto as he sat on the couch next to her. She still wrapped an arm around him, which he happily accepted. "Naruto, do you remember how Yondaime died?" "He died defeating the Kyuubi," said Naruto simply. "True, Yondaime did defeat the Kyuubi, but he could not kill the demon," said Tsunade. Noticing the confused look on Naruto's face, she continued on, "Because he couldn't kill the demon, he was forced to seal it away. The problem was that he couldn't find anything strong enough to seal it away in. That is until he found a small baby boy with his umbilical cord recently cut. This boy was so strong and so powerful that the Yondaime knew that the boy could seal the beast in. He also knew that in the future that little boy would be able to use the Kyuubi as a weapon to help the people of his village that he loved so much. Do you know why I'm telling you this?" Naruto seemed to be contemplating it carefully, trying to put the pieces together. He thought about the scrolls the Yondaime gave to him and no one else. He thought about why he didn't live in Konoha despite asking to visit. He thought about many of the odd chakra that would occasionally spring up within him from time to time. Suddenly it was all making sense. "I'm the vessel, aren't I?" "Yes, my little Naruto-kun," said Tsunade, trying not to show sadness in voice. "But I'm not the Kyuubi, right?" "Just the vessel. Just the vessel," reassured Tsunade. "And the fox bastard is mine to do with as I please?" asked Naruto. "Yes," said Tsunade, not liking where this conversation was heading. "Good, then I need to learn some torture jutsu or something to make that bastard pay for killing my parents," said Naruto adamantly. Of all the things Naruto could have said, she was not expecting that. "Naruto, although torturing him would probably be nice, I think it would be more advantageous to take advantage of his almost limitless chakra," said Tsunade. "So that is why I have that strange seal on my stomach?" asked Naruto. "That seal is very special," said Tsunade. "That seal was made by Yondaime Hokage to trap the Kyuubi. Most importantly though, it was designed to slowly kill the Kyuubi by draining away its chakra into you. That's why you keep getting so much stronger so fast. So the Kyuubi will die eventually. Maybe, no one is sure exactly how much chakra Kyuubi has. It could take 1 more year or even 1 million more years, but the point is that it is becoming yours. And when you die, you'll take that fox bastard with you," said Tsunade. "It is the ultimate punishment, don't you think?" "Yeah," said Naruto, starting to get excited about it. "But Naruto-kun, this is a secret. There are some people who won't see you as Naruto but only as the Kyuubi if they know that it is inside of you," explained Tsunade to her son. That's easy enough. I don't necessarily want any enemies I might make in the future to know about it anyway. It might just make me more of a target than I'm already going to be as Hokage, said Naruto with pride. Hokage, huh? Asked Tsunade, slightly surprised. Tell you what, if you can prove to me that you are worthy of becoming Hokage someday, then I will give you my necklace. How's that? You're on, said Naruto. You should know better than to make a bet, Carson. You always lose, especially to me. Is that so? Asked Tsunade in mock anger, but soon she was tickling her young son and student. Dinner that evening was pleasant. Naruto received his usual, but this time Tsunade only gave him 5 scrolls. 5. Why only 5? He asked. He didn't mean to sound ungrateful. Because in 6 months we're going home, said Tsunade with a smile. Hopefully if she was upbeat about then he would be too. To Konoha? He asked excitedly. Yep, said Tsunade, if you think you're ready to become a genin. You bet I am, said Naruto. Aren't I, Shizune? I don't know, said Shizune, teasing him. You're kind of short. Good things come in small packages, said Naruto in his own defense. Truth was that was about his only defense when anyone attacked his size. If he knew what it meant, he would probably admit to having a bit of a Napoleon complex. The Yondaime scroll this year was a small scroll. Thus far Naruto had come a very long way in his training with everything the Yondaime left for him. He now had about a 50% success rate of activating the Kirameki no Jutsu without hand seals and was getting better with it every day. His ability to use the Kirameki Shuriken and Kunai also improved greatly. His Taijutsu though was the most improved. Even without using the Kirameki no Jutsu he could beat Shizune in a Taijutsu spar. For him to beat Tsunade though require him to use the Jutsu. In both cases he had to remove all of his weights though while they kept their own on. Still, a win was a win, and if Naruto continued to progress at his current rate then that wouldn't remain the case for very long. I can see the gates, shouted Naruto excitedly, we're almost there. Tsunade smiled warmly at her exuberant son. Come on, hurry up, shouted Naruto as he tried to push Tsunade and Shizune forward towards the gate. Tsunade purposely tried to slow down. Naruto's solution to the problem was not what she expected. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, he shouted, created a dozen clones. Next thing Tsunade and Shizune knew they were being carried by half a dozen Naruto clones each and moving rapidly towards the gates. To think, we could have him doing this all along, said Shizune with a laugh. Tsunade joined in her laugh. When they were about 100 yards from the gate Tsunade destroyed all his clones. What did you do that for, Carson? Asked Naruto. We're about to enter a shinobi village, began Tsunade. You have to be very careful to hide your techniques. Don't use any of your skills without having Kirameki no Jutsu activated, and don't activate Kirameki no Jutsu unless you can do it without hand seals. There are some shinobi in this village that can steal a jutsu by just seeing it once. Understand? Yes, Carson, said Naruto seriously. He'd heard in his lessons from Shizune about shinobi that could do that, but never though he'd have to worry about them, especially if they were supposed to an ally. You have to protect the secrets that Yondaime left to you. Pass them only within your family, said Tsunade. Always be cautious to check the surrounding area before you train. Yes, Carson, said Naruto again. He knew how serious Tsunade was being about this, and as such he was giving her due attention. Okay, ready to go home? Asked Tsunade finally. Yes, Carson, shouted Naruto happily. The three approached the gate guard slowly so as not to arouse suspicion, not that they were at all suspicious looking. Halt, state your name and purpose, ordered a leaf shinobi that couldn't be seen. That didn't stop Naruto from looking to exactly where the shinobi was hiding despite the thrown voice. Tsunade, I'm returning home with my assistant Shizune and son Naruto. Tsunade-sama, said the shinobi as he appeared before her and bowed deeply. So, can we enter? Asked Naruto excitedly. Hush Naruto-kun, chided Shizune. The Hokage left instruction that if you ever came you were to report directly to his office, said the shinobi. It was easy to sense the little bit of fear coming from the man. Tsunade, Shizune, and Naruto slowly walked through the town toward the Hokage Tower. It was easy to see that Naruto was super excited to be there. His head was turning every which direction trying to take in the sights and the sounds of his home. Naruto's lack of paying attention caused him to be introduced to his first new friends. Naruto was walking not really looking at where he was going when he walked right into a girl that was slightly smaller than him. Sorry, said Naruto instantly apologizing as he stood up after knocking both of them down. Sorry, replied a very soft shy voice. Naruto looked at the girl now for the first time. She had dark blue hair that was almost purple in the light. Her eyes were clear except for a hint of lavender coloring. She was very petite but Naruto knew that she was almost the same age as him. Are you okay? He finally asked. Sorry, she stuttered again not looking him in the face. It was my fault, I wasn't looking where I was going, said Naruto. You don't have to say sorry. Sorry, she stammered yet again. I'm Naruto, he introduced himself to the girl. What's your name? Hinata, she stuttered barely audible. Nice to meet you Hinata, said Naruto. Naruto-kun, called Shizune, hurry along now. Coming Shizune-nekan, called Naruto in return. He looked back at the very shy girl. Well, I'll see you later maybe. With that he ran off to catch up to his sister and mother. Not too much later all three were waiting their turn to see the Hokage. You may enter, said the nasally voice of the secretary. The three entered the office and were greeted by an old man standing in front of his desk. Tsunade, he greeted warmly, so nice to see you again. Sarutobi-sensei, returned the greeting. Shizune, you've grown into a fine young woman, said the lecherous old man. Nice to see you again, replied Shizune stiffly. And you must be Naruto-kun, said the old man. I've been looking forward to seeing you for some time now. I can see that you've grown up quite nicely. Has Tsunade and Shizune been treating you well? How about your education? Did you enjoy traveling? Carson is wonderful and so is Shizune-nekan, answered Naruto excitedly. Shizune is an excellent teacher and she's so smart. I loved traveling very much but I'm glad to have come home at last. Sarutobi was very surprised when Naruto answered all of his questions so rapidly but pleased all the same. Is he ready for the Genin exam? Asked Sarutobi to Tsunade. Yes, said Tsunade lightly. She didn't want to build Naruto up to be more than he really was nor did she want to put him down. So tell me Naruto-kun, how much have you learned? Said Sarutobi looking to Naruto. Well, Naruto paused and looked to Tsunade for permission. She nodded and he began to barrel through what he'd learned. I've almost mastered Kirameki no Jutsu and about 75 of the time I can activate it without hand seals. I've learned the first 3 stages of the Kirameki Taijutsu pretty well but I can always improve on that. My Kirameki Shuriken and Kunai are okay but they'll be much better once I've completely mastered the Kirameki no Jutsu. I just started to get the hang of the Kirameki Suki, but it really difficult. I know 3 basic healing jutsu though Carson wishes I would learn more. I know the first 4 Kaiten Jutsu, 3 Doton Jutsu, 4 Mizu Jutsu, 2 Rai Jutsu and the Kinjutsu Kage Bunshin. Well, that's quite good, said Sarutobi. Do you know Kawarimi yet? What? Asked Naruto. Well, what about the regular Bunshin technique? No, said Naruto. Should I have? No, I suppose not, said Sarutobi with a chuckle. It is a good thing that you have a few months still before the Genin exam. You can join the class and learn both of those in that time, as they are the most basic techniques of any leaf shinobi. That's great, more techniques, shouted Naruto excitedly. He really does love to learn, doesn't he? Asked Sarutobi to the 2 women. Yes and no, answered Tsunade. He probably could have learned a lot more techniques than he has, but he seems to prefer to nearly perfect a technique and be able to use it well rather than just learn a lot. He is probably excited about those techniques because you said they were the most basic to leaf shinobi, which he would translate into essential. I see, then he is just like him, said Sarutobi reminiscing. It is shocking how much they're alike, said Tsunade softly. Well, the only question left is whether or not you will be staying, said Sarutobi. Carson is leaving, asked Naruto, suddenly keying in on that detail. He was instantly clinging to Tsunade as though his life depended on it. No, Naruto-kun, Carson isn't going anywhere, said Tsunade, rubbing the back of his head. Sarutobi smiled warmly. I will have a house prepared for the 3 of you. Will you be resuming your duties as a medic nin? I will to an extent, said Tsunade. I will work in the hospital, but I will not take any missions. Excellent, we've been in need of a new chief of staff, said Sarutobi. Congratulations. Tsunade's eyebrow twitched as she knew she was set up from the start. I will also work in the hospital, but I would be willing to take the occasional mission, said Shizune. You're a Junin, correct? Asked Sarutobi. Yes, answered Shizune. How would you like to train future medic nin from the academy? It wouldn't be a full-time Junin instructor position, but I think that maybe 2 days a week you could train genin that have the potential to be medic nin, suggested Sarutobi. I would enjoy that very much, said Shizune with a smile. Well then, I will have a Chunin show you to the house I arranged for you, said Sarutobi, pushing a button on his desk. A young Chunin with a bandage across his nose entered. Hokage-sama. Hagen-san, would you please escort Tsunade to the house that you arranged last week? Yes, Hokage-sama, replied the man Hagen. He turned to the 3, please follow me, Tsunade-sama. The house was very nice. It was a 2-story with 3 bedrooms. Shizune and Tsunade's bedrooms were on the 2nd floor and Naruto's was on the 1st. The house had all the regular amenities such as kitchen, dining room, bathroom, and living room. It was unfurnished, but Hagen explained that there was an account set up at a few furniture stores so they could get furniture that day. He also informed them that Naruto would be starting at the academy the next day. That afternoon they spent familiarizing themselves with the village and purchasing furniture. Somehow Naruto ended up having to carry the furniture across the village to the house as part of his training. Naruto honestly believed that Tsunade was just too cheap to pay for delivery. Break. The next morning Shizune woke Naruto early so he could be to the academy on time. He was still late despite her best efforts. Naruto rushed into the classroom that was already in session. Can I help you with something, young man? Asked the instructor. Sorry, I'm late, said Naruto with a polite bow. And you are? Uzumaki Naruto. I'm supposed to start today, explained Naruto. Class has already started, so you'll have to introduce yourself to the students later, said the man. Yes, sir, said Naruto. You can sit anywhere, there is an open seat, offered the man. Naruto surveyed the room. There was a seat open next to a pink-haired girl with a big forehead, and there was a seat open next to the blue-haired girl he met the previous day. He chose the later. "Hi Hinata-chan," he whispered to her when he sat next to her. He completely failed to notice the intense blush on her face. Naruto later learned the instructor was Yumino Iruka. He was a nice man but fairly strict with the students. His lecture was a bit boring as it history that Naruto had learned a few years ago from Shizune. He continued on until they broke for lunch. After lunch, Naruto was once again sitting patiently in the classroom. He sat with Hinata for lunch as she was the only one he'd met so far, and most of the other students seemed a bit standoffish for his tastes. "Now, we'll be practicing our Bunshin no Jutsu today," said Iruka-sensei as he resumed class. It also managed to earn him a lot of groans of displeasure from the students. Naruto, however, was interested to learn it. "Naruto-san, why don't you come down and try it first?" asked Iruka with a smile. Naruto jumped up excitedly and rushed to the front of the class. "Whenever you're ready," said Iruka. Iruka-sensei, I don't know how to do Bunshin," said Naruto with a slight grimace, "could you show me?" Iruka didn't seem very happy though. He'd been expecting great thing from Naruto from what Sarutobi boasted about the boy. Iruka showed him the seals as patiently as he could and even took a moment to explain the way he needed to mold the chakra. "I see," said Naruto after he finished his explanation. "It is one less seal than Kage Bunshin, causing a minor alteration in the chakra mold that prevents the copy from taking a physical presence." Iruka was floored by the technical and analytical comment Naruto made. He was shocked even further to find Naruto compared it to the Kage Bunshin, which was not only a Junin technique but also a kinjutsu. "Bunshin no Jutsu," said Naruto, creating 8 perfect clones. "Oops, I used a bit too much chakra." Naruto released the 8 clones and then concentrated a bit more. "Bunshin no Jutsu," he said again, but this time he created only 1 perfect clone. "There, much better," said Naruto and the clone together. "How many clones do you think you could create?" asked Iruka curiously. "I don't know," said Naruto thoughtfully. "I'll have to try later." "Thank you, Naruto-san, you may be seated," said Iruka with a friendly smile. His disappointment quickly evaporated towards his new student and was replaced instead by pride that he could learn so quickly. The other students, though, were a mix between being impressed and being jealous, especially so with a certain black-hair boy in the class. After class that day, Iruka stopped Naruto from leaving. "Naruto-san, how did you like your first day of class?" "I enjoyed it very much, sir, but the history lesson this morning was a bit boring," he answered honestly. "History may be a bit boring, but it is important to understand," said Iruka with a friendly smile. "Oh, I know that. It was boring because Shizune Nekin already taught me all of that," explained Naruto. "I see, what else has Shizune-san taught you about history?" asked Iruka curious. Naruto was about to answer when his stomach growled. "Sorry, it has a mind of its own." "That's all right," said Iruka, "I'm hungry myself. How about I treat you to some ramen as a welcoming gift?" "Sure," said Naruto with his fox-like grin he'd recently begun to use. Iruka and Naruto ate ramen at Ichiraku, which Naruto quickly decided was his favorite restaurant in all of Konoha. While they ate, Naruto and Iruka talked a bit about history. "Well, since you know so much already, I'll tell you what," said Iruka, "you can sleep during the history lesson. I'll yell at you for it after the lesson, but I won't really mean it." "Okay. Great," said Naruto with a grin. Thank you, Iruka-sensei. You're welcome, Naruto, said Iruka. I should go now or Carson will be angry with me for being out so late, said Naruto as he checked the wall clock. Naruto and Iruka said the goodbyes and Naruto rushed back home. When he got home, Tsunade interrogated him to no end about his first day at the academy and then about why he was so late getting home. Sounds like you had a very nice first day, said Tsunade afterward. She and Naruto were sitting on the couch. She had an arm wrapped around him and he rested his head on her shoulder. I even learned Bunshin in one day, said Naruto. I accidentally made 8 of them on my first try, too much chakra as usual. Tsunade chuckled. That isn't necessarily bad, Naruto. Just watch yourself in the future, okay? Okay, Carson, said Naruto. Oh, I made a friend too. Her name is Hinata and she's really quiet and shy but very nice. Oh really? Asked Tsunade. Already got a girlfriend and you've only been in town for a day. Carson, shouted Naruto angrily, but he calmed once he noticed she was smiling and laughing a bit. Break. The next several weeks passed by quickly enough. Naruto learned the Kawarimi technique really quickly, just as he had with the Bunshin technique. Naruto slowly met the other students, though he didn't care for most of them as they were loud and quite obnoxious. He did get along really well with Hinata though, as she rarely said anything but was very friendly all the same. Naruto even helped her with classes a bit. Tsunade settled into her position as chief of staff at the hospital rather easily, but was quite annoyed by how poorly it had been run since her original departure so many years ago. Shizune loved her work now more than ever. She worked minimal hours in the hospital and spent the majority of her time training medic nins. She only had 2 students to start with from all the current Genin level students, but she really enjoyed having them. On and off weekend, Naruto left early to train. He'd found a place that he could train in private just on the outskirts of the village. It was near a small waterfall which was perfect for Naruto's needs. There was water to practice his Mizu Jutsu and rock to practice his Doton Jutsu and again water to practice his Kaiten Jutsu over. Tsunade was left at home while Shizune was at the hospital. She wasn't expecting any visitors, so she was surprised when someone knocked on her door. She answered the door. Hello, can I help you with something? Excuse me, said the man politely. I'm Naruto's teacher from school. Yumi no Iruka. Pleased to meet you, Iruka-sensei, said Tsunade. Were you looking for Naruto? No, I was hoping for a chance to speak with you, said Iruka politely. Please come in then, said Tsunade motioning him in. I was about to have some tea, would you like some as well? Thank you, said Iruka. I usually try to speak with all of the parents of my students on occasion, hence the visit. I see, then Naruto hasn't been causing trouble. Not at all, said Iruka. Naruto is an excellent student. Tell me, have you given him an IQ test? Yes, said Tsunade. He scored in the high hundreds but not genius level. Really? Asked Iruka. I was amazed at how easily he dissected the Bunshin technique and then compared it to the cage Bunshin. Well, Naruto has been learning about chakra manipulation since he was very young to compensate for his tendency to use far too much chakra. He has a slight problem with his chakra system, and because of that he had to work very hard to gain the control he has now. At the time it helped him tremendously to be able to analyze how chakra was manipulated, explained Tsunade. I see, said Iruka, that makes sense. In most techniques he uses far too much chakra, at least now I understand why. Have you tried to teach him tree climbing yet? He learned that long ago and it helped him a lot at the time, said Tsunade. What about water walking? Not yet, but now that you mention it, I don't think it would be a bad idea to teach him. Anything to help him improve his control would be very useful, said Tsunade. The one thing that has come out of his poor chakra control is that it has forced his chakra capacity to expand rapidly to compensate. He does seem to never run out of energy, said Iruka, but then at that age all of them seem to have limitless energy. Tsunade smiled and laughed lightly at that comment. Indeed, Iruka-sensei, but I think you'll find my little Naruto-kun exceeds them all for an overabundance of energy. Tell me, how is he getting on with the other children his age? Growing up the way he did, we never stayed in one place long enough for him to make many friends. He and young Hyuga Hinata seem to get on very well, which makes me very happy to see. Hinata needed a friend like Naruto as she is extremely shy. Already she has improved quite a bit just from his encouragement. Naruto tends to shy away from the other students though. I think they are a bit much for Naruto to handle, which honestly surprises me because he is so energetic, explained Iruka. Give him time and he will warm up to the others, said Tsunade. I would ask though that when it comes time to select teams try to pair Naruto away from Hinata. Their friendship is great but Naruto needs to befriend others as well. I can understand that. In all honest, I think Naruto and Hinata would team up quite well, but I can understand your concern and will do my best to accommodate, said Iruka politely. Thank you, said Tsunade. Well, thank you for your time today, Tsunade-sama, but I do have other parents to drop in on before my day is done. Please tell Naruto that I said hello, said Iruka, making his polite excuses to leave. Good luck with the other parents, said Tsunade as she escorted Iruka to the door. Break. Finally, the day of the Genin exam had arrived and Naruto couldn't have been more excited that he was that day. After today my journey to become Hokage begins, said Naruto happily. Remember Naruto, don't do any more than is necessary to pass the exam, said Tsunade. You don't want to give anyone too much knowledge to hold over your head. Yes, Carson, said Naruto, knowing well enough to do that anyway. She'd recently begun to pound it into his head how important it was to protect his secrets and his techniques. After learning that the last Uchiha was in his class made him even wearier of that, as the Uchiha were known for the Sharingan eye. Luckily this Uchiha hadn't activated his Sharingan eyes yet, but he didn't want to risk it all the same, especially not with the Yondaime's techniques. Okay, the first part of the exam requires that you all create at least 5 perfect bunshin, instructed Iruka-sensei. Naruto created his bunshin flawless just like 8 other students in the class. The other 8 were Hinata, which he was very proud of, Shino, who was a weird bug guy that creeped him out, Ino, who was loud and scary, Choji, who was really nice and loved to eat, Shikamaru, who was really lazy, Sakura, who was also loud and scary like Ino, Kiba, who was an obnoxious dog boy, and Sasuke, who just rubbed Naruto the wrong way. That night Naruto celebrated with his family that he passed so easily. They all had dinner at Ichiraku ramen stand. Well, seeing as it only a week until your birthday, I might as well give this to you now, said Tsunade, passing Naruto another scroll from Yondaime and a small box. Naruto opened the small box to find a leaf headband like the one he was currently wearing. This one was slightly different though, in that it was on a black piece of cloth instead of a blue piece. That was my forehead protector that my grandfather gave me when I first became a genin. I wanted you to have it, said Tsunade as she removed the one Naruto was wearing and replaced it with the one in the box. Thank you, Carson, said Naruto, hugging her fiercely for such a precious gift. I promise I will always keep it with me. You'd better, said Tsunade in a joking warning. The scroll appeared to be the fourth stage of the Kirameki Taijutsu, which Naruto was excited to begin learning. Unfortunately, it would have to wait a few days until he got his team all sorted out. The next morning, Naruto wore his new leaf headband proudly as he walked through the village to the academy. He entered the class to see the other 8 rookie genin already waiting. Naruto took his seat next to Hinata. "Morning, Hinata-chan," he said loudly. "Morning, Naruto-kun," replied Hinata softly but with a lot less stuttering than usual. "Attention everyone," called Iruka, "I will be assigning your teams here in a minute. After your teams are assigned, you are to wait here for your Junin instructor." So, without further ado, Team 7 is Uzumaki Naruto, Haruna Sakura, and Uchiha Sasuke. Team 8 is Hyuga Hinata, Aberrane Shino, and Inuzuka Kiba. Team 10 is Yamanaka Ino, Nara Shikamaru, and Akamaiki Choji. "I'm not with Hinata-chan," asked Naruto to no one in particular. "Naruto-kun is in a different group," said Hinata softly and sadly. "Hinata-chan, do you best with your team and I'll do my best too. We can see each other later then," said Naruto with a reassuring smile to the girl. Truthfully, he was a bit saddened himself not to be paired with his only friend. He was also quite worried about being paired with the Uchiha survivor. Slowly but surely the Junin instructors came and collected their students. Finally it was down to just Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke. "What is the deal with this instructor?" complained Naruto loudly after 2 hours of waiting. Sakura failed to respond as she was fixated on Sasuke and Sasuke was just ignoring the world. You guys are boring," said Naruto as he decided to use his time wisely. Concentrating a bit of chakra to his feet, he walked calmly up the wall and continued on up to the ceiling. He simply practiced walking across the ceiling. It was extra difficult because the material the ceiling was made of wasn't extremely sturdy, so he had to spread more chakra out not only to hold himself to the ceiling but also enough to prevent the ceiling from cracking or breaking loose. He failed to notice the looks of surprise from both Sasuke and Sakura. "Naruto, how are you doing that?" asked Sakura curiously. "Huh?" asked Naruto before he noticed they were surprised. "Oh, I'm practicing my chakra control and manipulation by focusing it to my feet to keep me stuck to the ceiling, but beyond that I have to focus chakra into the ceiling itself to support my weight." "Why are you doing that?" asked Sakura. "Well, I have problems with my chakra control because of an irregularity in my chakra system. As a result, I have to constantly practice my chakra control. You've probably noticed that in class 1 tend to use a lot more chakra than I need," explained Naruto. "This helps a little." "Oh," said Sakura, "can you show me?" "Sure," said Naruto as he walked across the ceiling and back down the wall. Sakura met him by the wall. Sasuke watched him from his seat, but he wasn't about to get up and try it himself because he was above both of them. "First you need to concentrate chakra to your feet, then you simply walk up, but you have to continually adjust the amount of chakra you use or you'll damage the wall. I'd suggest that you start with just the wall as it requires a large amount of chakra to stick to the ceiling because you have to reinforce and pull at the same time." Sakura easily walked up the wall and then, feeling daring, she tried the ceiling only to lose her grip and fall. Lucky for her, Naruto saw it coming and caught her. "I warned you," said Naruto, "stick to the wall to build up your chakra reserves before you try the ceiling again." Sakura nodded with a slight blush from the way Naruto caught her. After that she stuck to the wall, literally, while Naruto resumed his ceiling walking. The expression on their Junin instructor's face when he entered the room would have been priceless if it weren't for the damn mask hiding his face. My first impression of all of you is that you confuse me. Let's go up to the roof, he said, then disappeared in a puff of smoke. Not much later, Team 7 was assembled on the roof. So why don't we start by introducing ourselves? Sensei, why don't you go first? Suggested Sakura. My name is Hitaki Kakashi. What I like and dislike are none of your business. My dream, here he blushed slightly. And I have hobbies, again he blushed slightly. Now you, Pinky. I'm Haruna Sakura, she looked at Sasuke and blushed. I dislike Ino Pig. My dream is, again she looked at Sasuke but blushing even more this time. Now you, he said pointing to Naruto. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I like ramen, I hate the 3 minutes it takes to prepare ramen. My dream is to one day become Hokage and Yondaime Hokage proud of me. Kakashi raised his eyebrow in slight surprise at Naruto's statement but didn't show more than that. Now you, he said pointing to Sasuke. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I don't like much. My dream is more of an ambition, and that is to kill a certain man and rebuild my clan. Well then, meet me tomorrow morning on Training Field 7 at 5 a.m. for some survival training, said Kakashi, but before he could leave. Sensei, we did that in the academy, said Sakura. This is a bit different, this is actually your final test to become real genin, explained Kakashi before he disappeared with a puff of smoke. So, do you guys want to go get something to eat? I mean, if we are going to be a team, it might not be a bad idea to get to know each other and find out how we're going to work together, suggested Naruto. Sasuke just snorted and walked away. Sakura looked torn between following her crush or staying with Naruto, as his idea was actually really good. Finally, she chose to stay with Naruto. It's okay, Sakura, if you don't want to stay, said Naruto politely. No, it's okay, I know where Sasuke lives so I can see him later, said Sakura lightly. Naruto wasn't sure if he should be worried about that statement or forget he heard it. So, what do you want to eat? How about we get some dango? Sure, said Naruto, lead the way to the best dango shop in the village. Sakura led Naruto through the village, pointing out a few different shops including Ino's family flower shop. They have the best flowers in town, just don't ever tell Ino Pig I said that. Naruto bought a few dango for himself, as did Sakura. Together they talked a bit about their skills and abilities. I don't know much genjutsu, but I'm okay with ninjutsu. I'm really good with taijutsu, said Naruto. I'm pretty good with genjutsu, but everything else I pretty much stink because I don't have enough chakra, explained Sakura. That wall walking exercise is a good exercise to build your chakra, said Naruto, but you change how you do it a bit. Find a tall tree and just run up and down it as many times as you can. It'll do two things. First, it will force your chakra reserves to increase, and second, it will increase your strength and stamina. Really? Asked Sakura. Yep, said Naruto, it worked really well for me. If you can try to buy a lightweight suit, maybe only 10 to 20 kilograms. That will also help. That sounds a bit extreme, said Sakura. 10 to 20 kilograms isn't that much. Right now I'm wearing a 120 kilogram weight suit, said Naruto. No way, said Sakura in disbelief, how can you still move? Oh, I've been training with weighted suits since I was 7 years old. I started with 10 kilograms and moved up every year after that. About 2 years ago I changed my pattern to where I now increase the weight every few months by a few kilograms. It might be a bit extreme, but it has really helped me increase and control my chakra, explained Naruto. My Nekin trained me with it. I don't know if I could, said Sakura. I'm not that strong. Sure you could, and I bet it would impress Sasuke if you got stronger, said Naruto. He knew the type of person Sasuke was and knew that he was the type impressed by strength. Can you help me choose a good one? Asked Sakura, determined now. Sure, let's go, said Naruto as he led her to the supply shop he'd scouted out earlier. It wasn't the cheapest shop in town for equipment, but it did carry the best equipment at the best price. Naruto showed her a few different styles of weight suits. He showed her the full body suit as well as just weights for the ankles or forearms to choose from. I like the bracelet weights, said Sakura. They're a bit more expensive because they're a little stylish, but it is important to me to look good. Then the bracelet weights it is, said Naruto as he selected 2.5 kilo bracelets and then 2.5 kilo anklets. I know you're not partial to the ankle weights, but it is important for you to increase speed. Sakura nodded. She happily paid for the weights and was about to put them on when Naruto stopped her. I'd wait to use those until after the test tomorrow. Who knows what Kakashi-sensei has in mind, said Naruto. Sakura nodded and put the weights in a bag to carry home. While they were there, Naruto looked around as he was considering changing the style of weight he was using. Now that he was going to be an active genin, he needed to be able to easily remove his weights if he needed to. Sakura, which style to think I should go with? Asked Naruto as he looked over the weights. Are you thinking about changing? She asked. Well, my birthday is next week and Shizune always buys me new weights, so I'm considering changing the style I use so they can easily be removed if we're in combat, explained Naruto. Said Sakura as she studied them. I go with the plain black that is designed as a forearm protector and the ankle protector. You're not as concerned with style, so. Thanks, Sakura-chan, said Naruto with a friendly smile. He felt that he'd made a real friend in Sakura. Now if only he could get that Uchiha bastard to lighten up. Oh well, one thing at a time. Thank you for helping me, Naruto-kun, she replied. She also thought of him as only a friend. Happy to. Now I'd better walk you home and then get home myself, or Carson is going to strangle me, said Naruto, scratching the back of his head with a fox-like grin. Naruto happily walked his new friend home and then walked home himself. Once again Tsunade gave him the third degree about his team. He made sure to mention to Shizune that he was looking at the Shinobi equipment, specifically the weights and the style he wanted to change to. Break. Kakashi-san, what can I do for you this evening? Asked old man Sarutobi. I've just been investigating my students a bit, said Kakashi. Oh, and what do you think? Sasuke could be a problem, said Kakashi. He is obsessed with killing his brother. That was to be expected, said Sarutobi. How about the Haruna girl? She has potential. She didn't impress me at first, but then she and Naruto went to eat after the meeting. I expected her to chase after Sasuke. Anyway, while she was with Naruto, he gave her some very good training advice and she took him quite seriously. I see, and what of Naruto? Asked Sarutobi. He was most interested in this appraisal, though he didn't show it. The first time I saw him today, he was standing on the ceiling practicing a level of chakra control no genin should be capable of. Then when he told me his dream, I won't lie and saw that I wasn't shocked. He said that he wanted to make Yondaime sensei proud of him. It was actually him that approached his team about getting something to eat to build up some teamwork between them. For that alone I'm prepared to pass both him and Sakura right now. Were you aware that he's been training with weight suits since he was 7? Sarutobi shook his head, feigning ignorance. He's walking around right now with a 120 kilos, said Kakashi. I couldn't handle that much until I was 17. Impressive, said Sarutobi. He had yet to inform Kakashi about a certain resident within Naruto and honestly had no intention of doing so. You'll have to talk to his cousin about that. You may have met her once, Tsunade. Tsunade is his cousin. Asked a stunned Kakashi. Well, that explains a lot. Does he know many jutsu? A fair number, not as many as the Uchiha boy, but what he does know he knows to such a level that you will struggle to find someone with the same level of proficiency as him at any level, explained Sarutobi to the surprised Junin, but don't let that worry you. Tsunade has told me that Naruto is much more interested in being able to use what he knows rather than learning jutsu upon jutsu and then not be able to use them efficiently. I see, said Kakashi. He should be rather easy to train then. I would expect so, said Sarutobi. Oh, and be prepared for anything tomorrow. Do you know something? Asked Kakashi curiously. Maybe, but you'll have to find out for yourself, said Sarutobi, much to Kakashi's annoyance. Break. The next morning Naruto was up early and out of the house before anyone else was even awake. Naruto went by Sakura's first as they agreed to walk together and try and get Sasuke to join them. Morning Sakura-chan, greeted Naruto energetically. Morning Naruto-kun, greeted Sakura while trying to stifle a yawn. Not much of a morning person, are you? Asked Naruto with a grin. Shut up, said Sakura, it's too early to tease me. Whatever, said Naruto teasingly, earning him a smack to the back of his head from Sakura. Naruto and Sakura arrived at Sasuke's apartment building as he was just leaving. Morning Sasuke-kun, shouted Sakura, now effectively awake. Sasuke snorted and started walking. Naruto and Sakura joined him, walking on either side of him. 2 hours later. What the hell is it with this guy? Demanded Naruto. I know what my first gift I ever buy this guy is going to be, an alarm clock. Naruto-kun, save your energy for when he gets here, said Sakura, then we can pound him into the ground together. Naruto couldn't help chuckling at that. It also helped him to relax. Yo, said Kakashi as he finally arrived. You're late, shouted Naruto and Sakura together. You see, I got lost on the road of life, he replied lamely. Liar, the pair shouted together. Anyway, said Kakashi, you have until this clock chimes to take a bell from me, otherwise you will fail and be sent back to the academy. But sensei, there are only 2 bells, said Sakura. One of you will fail no matter what, said Kakashi. Ready, go. Then he vanished. The 3 all scattered in different directions. Well, that isn't exactly accurate. Sasuke went off on his own, Naruto and Sakura went off on together. Naruto, why are you following me? Asked a peeved Sakura. It's a trick to divide us, said Naruto. We're supposed to work together. Sakura thought on it for only a moment before she nodded and agreed. I should have thought of that. Iruka-sensei is always telling us to see underneath the underneath. Exactly, said Naruto. Any clue how we get Sasuke to work with us? Let him fail his first attempt, said Sakura, then force him to help us. I never thought I'd hear you say something like that, said Naruto, truly surprised that she was willing to admit that Sasuke could fail anything. For the little time that he'd seen her in class, she'd always fawned over the boy like every other girl in the academy. But for her to say that really caught him off guard. Why not? Asked a slightly offended Sakura. Well, your past attitude always suggested that you though Sasuke was infallible, said Naruto. Well, maybe you've influenced me a bit already, said Sakura teasingly. So for now we just wait and watch, said Naruto, changing the subject. He wasn't prepared for Sakura to act so differently. Yep, said Sakura as she took to the treetops. Naruto followed behind her. They both had to sit and watch as Sasuke was embarrassed and then buried up to his neck in the dirt. Now we talk to him, said Naruto as he hopped down to face the guy. Hey Sasuke, having fun yet? Go away, I can take care of myself, protested the angry boy. Sasuke-kun, be nice, said Sakura. We have to work together if we want to pass. This is a team-building exercise. Sasuke snorted, you two will just slow me down. Naruto was reaching his limit with this guy's attitude. Naruto performed a few fast hand seals that neither of his teammates could track before he hit the ground and caused the dirt around Sasuke to crumble, letting him free. From there Naruto grabbed the front of Sasuke's shirt and lifted him into the air. Listen up, I've put up with about as much of your shit as I'm going to. We are a team and if you really want to fail this exam then keep going to the way you are. If you want to pass you can join Sakura and I in getting those bells, or are you afraid to work with someone else? With that Naruto dropped Sasuke on his behind rather roughly before he turned and stalked off. I want you to pass Sasuke-kun but Naruto-kun is right, said Sakura as she followed after him. Once Sakura caught up with Naruto she spoke, is he coming? Naruto smirked before nodding, their ploy worked perfectly. So what's the plan Dobe? Asked Sasuke to Naruto. Sakura asked Naruto looking to her. Break. Impressive thought Kakashi as he watched Naruto and Sakura get Sasuke to work with them. Kakashi decided that now was the time to test Naruto and Sakura. He charged into the clearing where they planning only to be shocked when he discovered they were only Bunshin. Then from behind him Naruto and Sasuke attacked with taijutsu. Sasuke was attacking with a fairly standard academy taijutsu. Naruto was the one he was interested in though. He wasn't that surprised though when Naruto attacked using a taijutsu that was common among medic nin. But it made sense as his mother was the legendary medic nin Tsunade. Somehow he was a bit disappointed as if he'd been expecting something more. As he studied Naruto's moves though he noticed how unnaturally he was moving and how foreign the moves seemed. Then it occurred to him that Naruto was trying to protect his true taijutsu style. Why exactly he wasn't sure. Kakashi was so concentrated on studying the fighting style of Sasuke and more importantly Naruto that he didn't notice Sakura going after the bells until it was almost too late. Luckily he did notice and managed to escape it and get some clearance between him and his students. Not bad teamwork, said Kakashi, but I'm afraid that time is. He paused for the ding of the timer, up. Kuso, shouted Naruto. Sakura hung her head. Sasuke charged forward intending to attack. Faster than the eye could see Kakashi had Sasuke on the ground on his stomach with a kunai to the back of his neck. I could kill you now. Don't, said Naruto, he just wanted to win, we all did. Kakashi tightened his grip but then relaxed and smiled through his mask, you all pass. Then he bent low next to Sasuke's ear, but you just barely. Kakashi stood releasing the young Uchiha. Good teamwork Naruto and Sakura. You two actually passed yesterday when you tried to build up some teamwork between you. Next time Sasuke you'll remember how important teamwork is. Thank you Kakashi-sensei, said Sakura brightly. Naruto just grinned and nodded. Sasuke looked pissed. So, meet me tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock on the bridge near the North Gate. We start missions and team training, said Kakashi. Naruto, walk with me. Naruto nodded nervously but followed his sensei. Once they were out of earshot of his teammates Kakashi spoke. Naruto, is there any specific reason you used a medic nin taijutsu style? I thought it would be useful for Sakura-chan to see it, said Naruto. I think she'd make a great medic nin. I already recommended her to Shizune Nekken for training. Shizune said though that she'd prefer you gave the recommendation. This complained Naruto as he continued to weed the garden. He wasn't happy about it. Stop complaining Naruto-kun, said Sakura. The sooner we finish the sooner we can train. Oh Sakura, said Kakashi, did I forget to tell you that you've been nominated for medic nin training? What? Asked a surprised Sakura. Yeah, I guess I did forget, said Kakashi. Well, this afternoon is your first lesson with Shizune. You are to meet her at 2 p.m. in the hospital classroom 4. Congratulations Sakura-chan, said Naruto with a grin. Hinata-chan will be there with you too. She was also nominated. Hinata asked Sakura, how do you know this? Shizune is my sister, remember? Said Naruto, I hear these things. Then you knew I'd been nominated. Yeah, but Kakashi-sensei had to approve it, explained Naruto. Yondaime Hokage has started a new program requiring that one genin in every team learn a number of medic jutsu. Partially because it would reduce the mortality rate a bit and second to test new genin for the potential to become medic nin. The level of chakra control you have already makes you ideal just like Hinata-chan. This is really great, said Sakura excitedly. Did anyone else get approved? I think Choji is his name, said Naruto. Apparently his family is quite proficient in the creation of medicines. I thought the only thing the Akamaiki clan was known for was eating, said Sakura with a snort of laughter. That's not very nice, said Naruto. Oh yeah, we're going out for my birthday this weekend. You're all invited. It's just dinner so don't worry if you can't. I'll be there, said Sakura giving Naruto a thumbs up, though he could see it was a bit strained from the weighted bracelet she was wearing. Sasuke snorted signaling that he wouldn't be coming. I'll drop in, said Kakashi before turning back to his little orange book. Hinata-chan is coming too, said Naruto to Sakura. You certainly have a way with the ladies don't you? Asked Kakashi fairly impressed. Huh? Asked Naruto confused. He obviously didn't understand the question. The rest of that mission passed by soon enough. Sasuke refused to train with Naruto and went home. Sakura went to her first lesson for becoming a medic nin. This left Naruto alone as Kakashi went off to do whatever it is that he does. Well, I think it's time for a little training, said Naruto rubbing his hands together. He ran home as fast as he could and grabbed the Yondaime scroll for the 4th stage and then ran off to his private training spot. Break. 1 week passed with missions in the morning and some form of training in the afternoon. Soon enough it was the weekend and time for Naruto's birthday dinner. This year Naruto managed to convince Tsunade to have his dinner in a regular restaurant instead of a pub. Sakura and Hinata were both there as was Shizune and Tsunade. Thank you both for coming, said Naruto to Sakura and Hinata. Hinata blushed deeply but Sakura smiled and gave Naruto a small friendly hug. You both know Shizune Nekken. This is my cousin. Nice to meet you Mrs. Uzumaki, said Hinata with a polite bow. Poor Hinata thought she did something wrong when Tsunade and Shizune both collapse in laughter. Don't mind them Hinata-chan, said Naruto. Carson isn't my Carson by blood. Oh, I'm sorry Naruto-kun, said Hinata. Hinata-chan, Sakura-chan, please just call me Tsunade, said Naruto's Carson with a grin. Nice to meet you Tsunade-sama, said Sakura with a bow. Drop the sama would you? Ordered Tsunade, you're Naruto-kun's friend so the formality isn't really needed. Oh, stuttered Hinata as she blushed and held out a package to Naruto. For you, Naruto-kun. Naruto seemed puzzled for a moment but took the package. Thank you, Hinata-chan, but you didn't have to do that. I wanted to, said Hinata softly while turning very red with embarrassment. Naruto-kun, from me, said Sakura, handing him a box as well. Thank you, Sakura-chan, but again you didn't have to, said Naruto, smiling and scratching the back of his head. Did Sasuke-kun come? Asked Sakura. No, I don't think he will, said Naruto, a little disappointed. He'd been trying very hard to become friends with Sasuke, but the guy just wasn't interested. Come on kids, let's eat, said Tsunade as the food arrived. And so they all ate, talking and laughing and just enjoying each other's company. Just before the gifts were to be opened, Kakashi arrived. Yo, sorry I'm late, you see there was this old lady and… Liar, shouted Naruto and Sakura. Kakashi-kun, said Tsunade in her dangerous voice. Naruto reflexively inched away from her. What's this I've been hearing about you not arriving on time? I've also been hearing tales about a little orange book, is this true? Kakashi swallowed nervously. Well, Naruto, here's a small gift. Happy birthday, bye. Just like that, Kakashi had come and gone. What a strange guy, said Hinata. You have no idea, said Sakura and Naruto together. Well now, let's open these gifts, said Tsunade with a bright smile to her son. Naruto opened Kakashi's first. It was a set of kunai, but they were unlike any kunai he'd ever seen before. What kind of kunai are these? Those are the ones designed by Yondaime, said Tsunade. Treat those well, they're in limited supply. I'll have to thank him later, said Naruto with a smile. Next he opened Sakura's gift. It was a utility vest that was popular amongst shinobi. It was completely black and had his clan symbol on the back side of it. Thank you, Sakura-chan, this is great. You're welcome, Naruto-kun, replied Sakura with a grin. Naruto tried not to laugh because she had frosting stuck to her teeth. It didn't last long once Tsunade snorted and soon they were all laughing at Sakura. Eventually they explained why they were laughing and she licked her teeth clean despite her crimson blush. Hinata's gift was next. It was a photo album and inside was a picture of the two of them that one of their friends took. Thank you, Hinata-chan, that's very nice. Who took the picture? Ino-san said she took it by accident, so she gave it to me since she didn't know you, explained a blushing Hinata. Thank you, I'll have to get a camera now so I can take more pictures of my friends and family to add to this album, said Naruto with a smile. You're welcome, Naruto-kun, said Hinata, blushing even more if that were possible. Here you go, said Shizune, trying to slide the box across the floor to him. I'm not even going to try lifting it this time. Naruto smiled and opened the box to find the exact style of weight he wanted. You do listen. Shizune glared at him for that comment. Unlike you. What was that? Asked Naruto, intentionally earning a laugh from the table and an exasperated sigh from Shizune. Tsunade passed him his customary 2 boxes. The first box had a new outfit for him. The second box had 5 new technique scrolls. Now before you ask, I figure that with you doing missions and such that you wouldn't have as much time to learn new techniques, explained Tsunade. This is great, Carson, said Naruto, you always get me the best gifts. Tsunade smiled warmly at the boy. The last hour passed quickly. Naruto was made to walk both his friends home. Because Sakura was closest, he dropped her off first with a short hug good night. Next he walked Hinata home. Thank you for inviting me, Naruto-kun, said Hinata. I'm sure you've been to plenty of birthdays, said Naruto. Not really, said Hinata, but still thank you very much for inviting me. Happy to, said Naruto. Well, I do believe this is your stop. They were standing outside the gates to a large estate. Yes, said Hinata, and then much to Naruto's shock and surprise Hinata gave him a quick kiss before running inside the compound. Naruto was frozen on the same spot, deeply confused. Eventually Naruto shook himself from his stupor and went home. Carson, called Naruto when he entered the house. What is it, Naruto? Called a voice from upstairs. Carson, can we talk? Tsunade came down the stairs calmly. What is it? Naruto sat on the couch waiting for Tsunade to join him. Tsunade took the hint and sat down next to him and put her arm around him. Carson, tonight when I took Hinata home, before she went inside, and I don't, but what? Naruto spoke, trying to find the right words. Hinata gave you your first kiss, huh? Asked Tsunade, somehow translating in the way that only a mother could. Yeah, said Naruto, confused. Well, I think it is fairly safe to say that she likes you, said Tsunade. I mean, she kissed you. Gave you a picture of the two of you together. Is always blushing around you. I think I figured out that she likes me, Carson, said Naruto, slightly perturbed. But what the hell should I do? Do you like her? Asked Tsunade. She's my friend, said Naruto, not know what else to say. Have you ever thought about kissing her? Asked Tsunade. Not until she kissed me tonight, said Naruto, calmly yet slightly perturbed. Well, I would suggest that you just not worry about it for now. If in a week you're still thinking about kissing her, then we'll worry about it then, said Tsunade. Thanks, Carson, but I still don't know what to do, said Naruto. Go to bed, said Tsunade, ruffling his hair. Night, Carson, said Naruto as he headed for his room. Don't forget to change your weights before you go to bed, reminded Tsunade as he closed his door. Break. Damn it, Kakashi-sensei, no more D missions, complained Naruto as they were waiting for their mission assignment. The old man behind the desk chuckled. Naruto approached him. Hey old man, give something better than another of these stupid D missions. We've already done 10 of them. Can't you at least give us a C mission? The third chuckled for a moment and then grabbed a scroll and threw hard at Naruto. He was only slightly surprised when Naruto caught the scroll. Then Naruto looked at the scroll. Yes, finally a C rank mission, said Naruto, running back to his team. Sarutobi looked at his desk and realized that he accidentally threw the C mission at him instead of the D mission. He shook his head and rubbed his eyes as there was no way he'd be able to get that C mission back from Naruto. What's the deal? Asked Kakashi, looking over Naruto's shoulder at the scroll. Escort duty, said Naruto, and guard duty. A village just across the border in Wave Country has been having trouble with bandits attacking bridge builders. Really? Asked Kakashi. This should be a good experience for you all to get out of the village. So you're going to let us keep it? Asked Naruto in surprise. Would you really let me take it back to the Hokage? Asked Kakashi. Good point, let's go, said Naruto. You three go home and pack, I'll take care of the details. We'll meet at the East Gate in an hour, said Kakashi. His three pupils nodded before leaving the building. An hour later, the three young genin were anxiously awaiting their sensei and the man they were supposed to escort. You three are supposed to escort me? Asked a large old man that smelled of sake. You the chief bridge builder? Asked Sakura with a bit of disgust. Name's Tazuna, said the old man. Great, said Naruto. Now where the hell is Kakashi-sensei? Yo, said the man in question, announcing his arrival. Only a minute late this time, That's a huge improvement, said Naruto sarcastically. Just for that you can take point, said Kakashi. Yes, said Naruto excitedly. To him that wasn't a punishment at all. The point man was usually the one that got the most action. The trip from Konoha was uneventful for the most part. Sakura spent a bit of time explaining about the different countries, but it was nothing Naruto didn't already know, have lived in all of those places at one time or another while growing up. Luckily Naruto wasn't paying attention to Sakura, or he would have missed the fake puddle that two Miss Nin were hiding in. Hey, Kakashi-sensei, called Naruto. I know Naruto, said Kakashi. Okay, said Naruto as he suddenly dropped into a fighting stance and charged forward toward the puddle that was now changing into two men. They were fast as they wrapped a long chain around Kakashi and cut him to ribbons before Naruto could get close enough to help. Luckily Naruto could tell that it was a log that was actually cut to pieces. Naruto attacked one of the Miss Nin using a medic nin taijutsu style while Sasuke attacked the other. Sakura was protecting Tazuna. Naruto only had to delay the nin, as before either he or Sasuke could take them, Kakashi decimated them in moments. The demon brothers, nasty little buggers, said Kakashi, they like to poison their victims. Kakashi was preparing to interrogate them when they both began to foam at the mouth. They killed themselves. Tazuna was looking shocked. Tazuna-san, I feel there is something that you're not telling us, said Kakashi seriously. I'll tell you everything when we're a bit closer to my village, said Tazuna as he looked around nervously. Kakashi sighed and nodded. The mission had already been accepted and there was no turning back now despite the change in mission parameters. At the border they caught a ferry across the river. The boatman was rather nervous about it too. Naruto couldn't help thinking that the boatman seemed more nervous than was necessary for the area just having problems with bandits. A couple years ago a new crime boss came to power in the area by the name of Gato, began Tazuna. He is an evil man who is making a lot of money on the black market trade in the area. He doesn't want this bridge finished because it will affect his black market. It would seem that he has hired Shinobi to stop me from finishing the bridge. I see, said Kakashi. Well, we'll have to send Konoha representatives to renegotiate the fees once the mission is complete. That's fine, we'll pay in the future, but now we are too poor. We could barely afford to hire you, said the man. You'll definitely pay for it later. The charge for change of mission status is quite expensive, explained Kakashi, but that doesn't matter right now. Thank you, said Tazuna very emotionally. Not much longer after that they were let off the ferry in the city. Come, we'll stay with my family tonight, said Tazuna. We live outside the city. Show us the way, said Kakashi. Naruto, you're still on point. Yes, Kakashi-sensei, said Naruto. They didn't get too far outside the village when Kakashi suddenly yelled, "Everybody down!" Naruto dropped to the ground quickly, as did Sakura. Sasuke also dropped, but he took old man Tazuna with him. Naruto watched as a large sword flew through the air where their heads had been previously to end up stuck in a tree. In whirl of wind and water a man appeared standing on the blade. You three guard Tazuna, said Kakashi. I'll take care of him. Take care of me, will you? Asked the assailant. I am Mamaiki Zabuza, Devil of the Mist. Who are you? Hitaki Kakashi, he replied lightly. Ah, the infamous copy ninja, owner of the single Sharingan eye, said Zabuza, legend for having learned over 1,000 jutsu. Perhaps you are worthy. Kakashi shrugged, not really caring. Naruto could sense that Sasuke was on edge the instant that the Sharingan was mentioned, and more so by the fact that it had been revealed that Kakashi had one. It did nothing to Naruto as he already knew about the Sharingan eye from his Carson. Sakura however was just confused. All three were on defense around Tsunade though as the situation dictated. Kakashi moved slowly to reveal his single Sharingan eye by moving his forehead protector up. Meanwhile Zabuza removed his sword from the tree and jumped into the water. In that moment a very unnatural mist settled in all around them. Without warning Zabuza appeared and stabbed Kakashi with a kunai. It was quite surprising however when Kakashi popped into a mass of water. Faster than any of them could track, Kakashi appeared and stabbed Zabuza only for Zabuza to pop into a mass of water. After that Kakashi was quite cautious. Naruto felt the hairs on the back of his neck raise in warning. He dove forward and tackled Tsunade to the ground just in time to dodge a heavy swing of Zabuza's sword. Zabuza probably would have killed him and his teammates with that swing, but lucky for his teammates Kakashi blocked the sword from hitting them. "You're good," said Zabuza in a stained voice as he continued to push his blade toward Kakashi. Then in a fast move Zabuza let up his force on the sword only to kick Kakashi hard, sending him into the water. Kakashi recovered quickly but it was too late. Zabuza already had him in some form of water prison. "Take Tsunade-san and run," yelled Kakashi, but it was in vain as another water clone appeared. Sasuke was the first to charge in and unfortunately for the Genin team he was quite reckless. Faster than Sasuke could react, Zabuza had him pinned to the ground. "Sakura, stay with Tsunade, I'll try and help Sasuke," said Naruto. Naruto knew that Kakashi would probably know all of the jutsu he learned from Tsunade and Shizune save the Kirameki, and as Sasuke's life was on the line he couldn't afford to hold much back. On the other hand, it was only a Mizu Bunshin, which was only 1/10 the strength of the original. Naruto made 2 quick seals, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. After having learned the original Bunshin technique, he'd found a way to cut out the other 2 seals and skip ahead to the end result, thus negating the effects of the Sharingan eye. All around Naruto and Sakura 30 shadow clones appeared. "2 of you stay with Sakura-chan, the rest of you let's teach this guy a lesson." All the clones nodded before initiating an attack. Naruto stuck with his medic taijutsu as he wasn't feeling desperate enough yet to use his other style. First 5 Narutos charged forward in an attempt to get Zabuza to give Sasuke clearance to get free. 3 of the 5 were killed instantly, but the other 2 managed to knock the leg away that was holding Sasuke down, giving him the chance to escape and recover. Kakashi was impressed by how well coordinated Naruto was with all of his clones, not to mention the fact that he was just impressed with Naruto's ability to use such a high-level jutsu so easily. The 2 clones that succeeded in setting Sasuke free were destroyed an instant later. Next 2 clones charged forward to attack, but it was only a feint for the other 4 that attacked from the sides. Sadly, none of them were successful. Naruto's clones were very quickly getting picked off. Lucky for Naruto, Zabuza and his Mizu Bunshin were so busy watching the attacking clones none of them sensed or saw what Naruto was really doing. The real Zabuza's eyes widened in shock when his Mizu Bunshin was actually destroyed. Naruto didn't care for Doton Jutsu very much at all, but in this situation it happened to have worked to his advantage. His clones slowly but surely moved the Mizu clone into position. Just as the last clone was destroyed, creating a large blast of smoke than any of the others, from directly below the clone Naruto erupted from the ground wielding one of the Yondaime's kunai. He literally sliced the clone in half. "Surprising," said Zabuza. It was less than a second later that he was surprised even more when Naruto and Sasuke both appeared at the waterfront, making duplicate seals extremely quickly for Genin. "Kaiten, Gukakyu no Jutsu, the pair said together, taking a deep breath of air and chakra, then blowing it out in a massive fireball. Zabuza had no choice but to abandon the water prison that held Kakashi. After the fire attack finished, Sasuke gave Naruto a dirty look for using the fire technique. Worse though was the fact that Naruto's fireball was larger than Sasuke's. Kakashi was very quickly back in action, but he would be sure to praise his genin team. After all, he believed that any shinobi that would abandon a teammate was worth less than trash. Kakashi matched off with Zabuza on top of the water. They each exchanged a few quick strikes, but nothing too serious. Naruto could tell that they were testing each other again, as could Sasuke and Sakura. Finally, Zabuza began a series of hand seals which Kakashi was copying perfectly. Suten Suryudan no Jutsu. Out of the water erupted two huge water dragons, then killed each other moments later, much to Zabuza's annoyance. As soon as the water settled, he began another set of seals, but there were many more and much faster. He got about half through when he decided to taunt Kakashi. The problem with this was simply that Kakashi continued through to finish the jutsu, Suten Daibakufu no Jutsu. Zabuza's eyes widened in panic as an enormous blast of water hit him and drove him over land and through several trees, finally ending with him leaning heavily against a tree. Before the man could move again, Kakashi had put several kunai into the man. Naruto and the other approached quickly to help if they could. Kakashi was about to deliver the final blow when two senbon cut through the air and went cleanly into the man's neck, effectively killing him. The group all turned to look at the source of the senbon to see a boy with a mist village hunter nin mask. Excuse for interrupting, but the death of Mamaiki Zabuza is a matter of my honor as a hunter nin. Ah, no problem, said Kakashi, he's all yours. The hunter nin bowed before picking up the body and disappearing. That was strange, said Kakashi just before he collapsed. Sakura hurried forward and used the analyzing jutsu that she'd learned the second day of her medic training. It's chakra depletion. Shizune-sensei has mentioned that this is one of the most common ailments of shinobi after a large battle. Will he be alright? Asked Tazuna. He should be fine, said Sakura. He'll have to rest for a week or so. We should move on. Something about that wasn't right, said Sasuke seriously. My home isn't much further from her, said Tazuna. Come on, let's hurry. Naruto and Sasuke carried Kakashi between them. Sakura took point just in front of Tazuna. The rest of the walk to the old man's house was only about 30 minutes. Once inside, Tazuna's daughter hurried about trying to help them with Kakashi. The next day around mid-afternoon, Kakashi finally woke up. Yo, he said jovially to his three students as they stood guard over his body. Kakashi-sensei, said Sakura, thank goodness you're awake. Don't worry so much, Sakura, said Kakashi, guess I have chakra depletion, finished Sakura for him, you'll need to rest for a while. Good diagnosis, said Kakashi to Sakura, so, for today I want you all to rest and recover yourselves. Tomorrow morning I'll arrange for a bit of training for all of you. Something back there didn't seem right, said Sasuke from the back. Said Kakashi thoughtfully, that hunter nin was a fake. Standard procedure is to destroy the body immediately. Why didn't you stop him if you knew? Asked Naruto hotly. Because I would have been killed and so would you, said Kakashi. I was tapped out completely from that technique. But not to worry, it will take about 2 weeks for Zabuza to recover completely. By then you should be back in full health, said Sakura knowingly. Exactly, Zabuza won't act before then, said Kakashi calmly, so, as I said, relax today and tomorrow we'll train. Yes, sensei, said Sakura with a bow. The others just nodded. The next morning Team 7 found themselves standing in the forest near Tsunade's home. So, today you're going to learn to climb trees, Kakashi said, looking to Sasuke only. It will improve your control a lot. Sakura, I want you to improve on your chakra capacity, stamina, and speed, so you will also be climbing trees, but I want you to run up and down them as many times as you can, but first show Sasuke how to do it. Naruto, come with me. Kakashi then turned and headed back towards Tsunade's place. Together they walked just past Tsunade's and to the river. I just want to teach you how to walk on water today, and then starting tomorrow you'll be standing guard over Tsunade and the other bridge workers, said Kakashi as he walked onto the river surface. Naruto concentrated chakra to his feet and then stepped on. He was very wobbly at first, but eventually he got the hang of it. He spent the rest of that day simply running and jumping on the water to learn how his chakra needed to move for each activity. The next day, as promised, Naruto was sent with Tsunade into town while Sasuke and Sakura spent their time training. The day was completely uneventful, save him stopping a petty thief from stealing some lady's purse when they were shopping in town. Naruto was very saddened by the state of water country. The last time he'd been in the country was long ago, when the economy was quite a bit better than it is now. It had once been a very beautiful place filled with several vacation resorts and casinos, but with the increase in crime and decrease of shinobi, things had gotten steadily worse. The next week and a half proceeded in exactly this fashion. Naruto, now that I'm better and Sasuke and Sakura have improved so much, we'll go to the bridge tomorrow morning and you can sleep in for a change and join us later, said Kakashi as Naruto was entering his room to sleep. Thanks Kakashi-sensei, said Naruto, more than grateful. He hated having to wake up so early in the morning when he didn't have to. Naruto was only too happy for the extra sleep. It was a mistake for anyone to interrupt that promised sleep, but that is exactly what happened. There was a large noise in the kitchen, followed by Tsunade yelling at Inari, the little brat. Then Inari began to yell even more loudly, waking Naruto up completely. When Naruto came down the stairs, he was pissed. He'd planned to beat the crap out of Inari for being so loud and such a brat. The two samurai thugs attempting to kidnap both Inari and Tsunade quickly took Inari's place in the line for getting the shit kicked out of themselves. Naruto didn't even give the thugs a chance to draw their swords before he was on them. He didn't hold back from using the Kirameki Taijutsu in combination with Kirameki no Jutsu, seeing as they wouldn't copy it and none of his teammates were there to see it. Tsunade and Inari were confused when they saw a few yellow flashes and then saw Naruto standing over the two thugs, taking turns kicking each of them and berating them for waking him up. "You two okay?" asked Naruto after he was satisfied and had tied the thugs up. They both nodded dumbly. "Great, if these two are here, then it is a safe bet that my teammates are under attack as well, so as long as you two are okay, then I'm going to get dressed and join them at the bridge," said Naruto quickly before he ran up the stairs. The pair downstairs were stunned as Naruto ran up the stairs, then moments later ran down the stairs and out the door. Naruto moved as fast as he could with his weights to get to the bridge. It only took about 20 minutes, which was normal at top speed for Naruto. Naruto arrived at the edge of the bridge to see the far end covered in a chakra-rich mist, but it wasn't overly thick that he couldn't see his teammates. Naruto could see that Sasuke was trapped inside some kind of ice prison, but as he got closer he saw they were in fact mirrors, and there was that same hunter nin moving from mirror to mirror attacking Sasuke with Senbon. Sakura was standing guard on Tsunade while Kakashi and Zabuza were talking. What the hell are they talking about? Wondered Naruto to himself. He knew that Kakashi could handle Zabuza, but Sasuke was in trouble and needed help. So without thinking it through too carefully, Naruto entered the same area Sasuke was trapped in. You idiot, yelled Sasuke, why did you come in here? Because you need help, Naruto answered as though it were common sense. And how are you supposed to help me from in here? Asked Sasuke rhetorically. I guess I should think a bit more before I just leap in next time, said Naruto scratching his head. Are you two done? Asked the hunter nin in the mirror, can we continue this? Just hold your horses, said Naruto trying to aggravate the nin. Sasuke just about snapped. The hunter nin just laughed at them both before he attacked rapidly. Naruto could barely trace the guy's movement, but he was too weighed down at the moment to do anything. Meanwhile, he took note of the fact that the mist outside the prison had become extremely thick, preventing Kakashi from seeing inside the mirrored prison. This ass, said Naruto as he once again attempted to dodge another barrage of senbon. As he had not been dodging as long as Sasuke had, he fared a bit better than him. Naruto knew that Sasuke couldn't take much more at this rate. Truth be told, now that Sasuke had activated his Sharingan, Naruto was just waiting for him to collapse so that he could really fight. As luck would have it, on the next time around by the hunter nin, Sasuke finally took one too many senbon. But Sasuke had gotten a rather heavy hit on the hunter nin at his own expense. He was a skilled fighter. I'm sorry I had to kill one as young as he, said the hunter nin. Who do you think you're fooling? Asked Naruto with a joke. You've purposely not been aiming for critical points. Look here, you can see where you hit him in a spot that would only knock him out. Are you a medic nin? Asked the hunter nin. No, but I know a few, said Naruto with a grin. Now, why don't we fight this out properly? The hunter nin bowed his assent. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, what's yours? Asked Naruto as he undid the straps securing his shin weights. They fell off and hit the pavement, causing it to crack underneath. He then removed the weights on his forearms, which hit the ground, causing a bit larger crack due to the distance they fell, even though they weighed the same. Haku, said the boy. Naruto could hear the slight fear in his voice that he knew was a result of the weights being removed. Haku then sank back into his mirrors. He moved quickly to send a senbon at Naruto as he moved to another mirror, but he never got there as Naruto intercepted him and punched him in the side of the head, sending the boy crashing rather painfully to the pavement. Naruto used a medic nin strike that was designed to hit a pressure point and numb the subject's legs for a few seconds. You are a medic nin, said the boy as he stood immediately and dropped into a medic nin stance, but you're not as good as me. Ah, so you are medic nin then, said Naruto as he saw the stance. Is this your way of saying that you want to fight medic taijutsu versus medic taijutsu? As you are too fast for my mirrors, I have no choice but to engage you in this way, said Haku calmly. Right, well, as I said before, I'm not really a medic nin, said Naruto. Now I've been waiting for a chance to test my true taijutsu style for a while now against a worthy opponent. I can't use it in front of the others because their damn Sharingan eyes could steal my techniques just by watching me use it. That is simply not an option, so you are quite the fortunate find. Naruto then changed his stance from that of a medic nin to that of Kirameki first position. Haku charged forward fast. He struck first with a high punch, but as his hand approached Naruto, he saw a yellow flash and Naruto was no longer where he had last seen him. Then there was another flash and he felt a fist being buried deeply into his gut, sending him back to the pavement painfully. Haku slowly climbed to his feet and shook his head. He didn't understand what those flashes were or why they suddenly started. He looked again at Naruto, but then there were a series of quick yellow flashes, each time showing Naruto in a different position as he approached. Just after the last flash, Haku saw Naruto throwing a wide-arcing knife hand strike aiming for the side of his neck, causing him to move his arm to block the strike. Before Naruto hit him, Haku saw another flash of yellow light freezing the image before him, yet he still felt the heavy strike of the knife hand against his left forearm. It flashed again to show a palm heel strike about to hit him dead center of his chest. Naruto's open hand hit the boy hard, pushing all the air out of his lungs and breaking several ribs along with it. Haku knew in that instant that he had lost this fight, and yet he'd barely done anything. Whatever it was this boy had done, he could not see through it, and now he was about to die. Naruto stopped after shattering the boy's rib cage. Haku was no longer a threat to him or his team. The boy would be very hard pressed to move, and it was like that his lungs were punctured by the broken ribs. The amount of blood that began to bubble out of Haku's chest told Naruto that Haku would be dead in a few minutes. As such, Naruto released the Kirameki no Jutsu. Naruto felt horrible guilt for killing the boy, but his cousin had always told him that killing was part of being a shinobi, and as much as he may not like it, it could not be avoided entirely. The only thing lessening the guilt was the fact that he killed the boy in defense of his teammates. Just as Haku bubbled his last bloody breath, the mist cleared to reveal Kakashi with his hand buried in Zabuza's chest. Kakashi had killed the man. Kakashi wrenched his hand out of the man's chest, letting him fall to the ground. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief before he returned to Sasuke's side and put his shin guards and forearm guards back on. He then turned to Sasuke and began to remove the needles from the cut-off veins that knocked him out. Kakashi walked over to Sakura and relieved her in order to check on Sasuke. Just about the time she reached Sasuke, he sat up abruptly, taking in a great gasp of air before coughing a few times. "There, better now," said Naruto as he stood and left Sakura to tend to Sasuke. Down at the other end of the bridge, Naruto and Kakashi both noticed that there was a boat unloading a lot of samurai thugs. "Yo," said Kakashi as Naruto approached, "you okay?" "Sure," said Naruto a little subdued. "First kill?" asked Kakashi. "Yes," answered Naruto. "Don't worry about it," said Kakashi. "You'll learn how to deal with it." "Is Sasuke okay?" "He'll be fine," said Naruto. "What do you want to do about those thugs?" "Let them deal with it," said Kakashi, pointing to the villagers rushing onto the bridge. "Could you at least get Gato?" asked Tazuna. "He's actually here in the open. There will never be a better chance to kill him." "Fine, but you'll be charged for an assassination," said Kakashi with a sigh. "Fine," said Tazuna, eager to be rid of such an enormous menace to his people.